Does your dancer think the answer to every problem is more classes? I need more ballet classes. I need more private lessons. I need to be at more conventions. I just need more. And you're like, there is no more time in the day to add anything else to our schedule. But here's the thing. It's not about more class time, but how your dancer takes class. Hello there, and welcome back to Dance Colleges and Careers. I'm your host, Brittany Noltimier, and this is the podcast where we talk about all things dance, colleges, and careers. That's right. So today we are diving into quality over quantity. Are you holding back on opportunities for your child by not giving them more? Or are they exactly where they need to be? Or to have a mindset shift to get them up to where they really have the potential to be. Today's episode, we are talking about more classes. Is that what you really need? Well, first off, do you even have any more time in the day for more classes? Does your child have more time in the day? Probably not. Probably not. If you're listening to this episode, you probably already spend a lot of your time at the dance studio. Whether you are at a studio in the city or in a small town, you probably already spend a lot of hours there, which is awesome and wonderful. Like, that's great. They need the muscle memory. They need the class time to grow as dancers. But when they come home with a problem, or any of us, we usually think, oh, well, I just don't have the opportunities that other people have, or I need to be getting more ballet. Or if you're on those Facebook dance mom groups, I'm sure when you ask for advice on this, they tell you more. They say your child needs to be in more ballet classes. They say your child should be taken out of school and become homeschooled so they can get more hours in the dance studio. They say you need to take them to more conventions, more workshops. How do you feel about that? Is that realistic for your life? If it is, awesome. Take them to more. Go to more events. They're fun. That's a great time. But if it's not realistic for your life, that's what we're talking about today. Because I bet that you're already doing everything. I bet you're already at every workshop convention that comes to your area. You've probably even driven a long ways to get to some as well. Maybe you've tried out other ballet classes at other studios, and you've probably already maxed out your current studio owner's private lesson list as well. So you're like, guys, this advice is not helpful. I'm already doing all that. What are we missing that you're all not? Like, what are we missing that you guys have? This is why I want to drill that more classes isn't the answer. Parents, just think about this right now. If you were to go to a fitness class today, how would you be in your fitness class? Okay, there are many different people who take class, okay? And which person are you in the room? Are you the one who's kind of like, well, I just need a little bit today. I'm not giving it my all. Maybe I have an old injury that I can't overextend. Maybe this is the first day back, and if I push it to my limit, then I will leave injured. Or maybe you are the person in the room who like pushes it as hard as you possibly can, and you already work out every single day as it is. Okay, so think about that in terms of your child now. Obviously, it's a little bit different for injury because they have a lot faster recovery than we do as we get older, and faster recovery because they are active every single day, which is amazing. Think about in your room like that, in your fitness room, there's all these different personalities that exist. So remember, that happens in the dance studio as well. And your child could be any of those. I think that a lot of times when we think more, our kids are getting kind of burnt out in a way where then we have to be more gentle when we're actually in the classroom. So rather than going to class, giving it your all, you have to kind of go, whoa, I'm going to be here for the next 8 hours. So I have to be able to pace myself for this entire long day. So if that's going on for your child and they're already there 8 hours or 6 hours or 4 hours in a row, because that's all afternoon after school gets out, is the answer really that they need another hour? Do they really need to be in the studio for another hour? If they are not giving their fullest in what they're already doing, what is one more hour going to do for them? Nothing. Nothing, because they're going to be tired. They're going to be saving their body. And because that's when they go to class and they're like, I have to be here until 9 p.m. I don't get to have a dinner break and I just have to last. So during this time, I'm like, what are we doing? There are times in our lives when we have extra hours in the studio because we have extra rehearsals and it gives us resilience, stamina, more strength. But if we are constantly doing that and never pulling back, never taking a little break to allow for a little bit of recovery, to allow our brains to reset and actually have a good class, then more is not better. So this is why quality will trump quantity any day. Yes. As we're younger, true, we still need to be working our muscle memory and getting stronger with every single class. So we do still need the reps and the class time and the exercises, but we're only as strong as our mindset is. So if your child or the dancer starts to get so tired and fatigued and starts taking a really poor class, starts to rest or act a little lazier or take every rehearsal and kind of mark through the movements, then that's no longer servicing them. And so while we need that strength training and the time for our muscles to learn that muscle memory, quality in class will always trump quantity. Because think, if you do ballet 5 days a week, but you're at the bar sloppy as can be and you don't even connect your foot to the floor in the very first tendu, what are we going to be doing the next 45 minutes? You can brag all day long you go to ballet 5 times a week, but if you are lazy and lackadaisical and acting like you don't care from the very first step, then who cares if you're there every day? It will not show in your technique if you're burnt out, you don't care, and you're not teaching yourself at the bar. And that's in ballet. But if you take your jazz classes and you are like, I don't really care about the warm up, but when we get to pirouettes, that's when I shine. You are taking your class at a very low quality. From the second you step into the room, you have to already have that quality over quantity mindset. Warm up. Sometimes I see this all the time and the kids are like, oh, it's just warm up and we're flopping all over the place. No. Warm up is where we get centered, where we start and where we start to become our best versions of ourselves. If you wait 20 to 35 minutes until we start doing your favorite step, then you've been left behind. And you're the one probably sending a nasty email saying, why is my kid in the back? Well, because you wasted the first 35 minutes when you could have been getting stronger. So this is why I say warm up is not just a warm-up. We need a new name for that. In college, we called it a CTD, a Center Technical Development. CTD, we are teaching our Center Technical Development. It is not a warm-up. Warm-up, we think as like, oh, some jumping jacks. Let's get excited to go for the day. No. That is just a really immature way to take class. It is. And we've all been there, right? But the truth is, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go next? And where does that begin? At the very first second you walk in the door. When we start that first plie or tendu in ballet, when we start the reach up to the sky in our jazz class warm up, when we start our warm up with our tap shoes on and we're going tap, 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 and we're looking around like this, not focused at all, not really caring because it's just a tap. That, my friend, is what's getting you behind. And the people who can shift their mindset and start from that step into the studio, into our respected space, those who can latch onto that from the very beginning are the ones who are surpassing you. So if you're looking to grow, to become those other people that you admire, that's where you have to start. Quality over quantity. Stop bragging about how many hours you spend in the studio. Who cares if you're standing in the studio helping out little kids' classes and you're standing there like this, and then you do 4 skips? Are you engaged learning when you're teaching younger classes as well? Or are you wasting your time and honestly the teacher's time by not being a very good assistant? We get different things out of every class we do. So that really shifted into assistant chat. But if you are assisting classes and you're like, I'm at the studio every day, use that time to be better. When you're an assistant, you get to put on the teacher hat and you get to see the big picture of what's going on in the room. It allows you to shift from student to teacher. We were talking about this last night. When you're the student, everything is about you. But when you're the teacher, everything is about the students. Okay? So when you're an assistant, your mindset has to shift as well. It's no longer all about you. It's about them. And that lets you learn a whole different lesson and helps you grow as well. Not necessarily our muscle memory as we're being an assistant, but in a more intellectual way and in a way where we can get more out of that time in the studio as well, rather than just being like, oh, well, I help with so many classes. I'm so tired because I'm always at the studio. We'll get more out of your time at the studio. And this moves into my second point of this is a mindset shift. If you are just like listening to this and you're going, oh, those are some good ideas, but how do we do that? It all starts up here. It all starts by making a decision to step into the studio with a different attitude. That mindset shift is what separates great dancers from the rest. It's true. So if you're leaving class frustrated because maybe you used to be the best in the room and now you're not anymore. Maybe your friends are surpassing you. Well, a really big thing could be that you're not as focused on how you're taking class anymore. So what can we do to make that change? It's how you walk into the studio to grow every single time. We take so many classes, and how many times do you kind of get in like a funk of, oh geez, I'm just not on my leg today. This is just going to be a bad class. You let it be a bad class and you stay in that mindset. I have many times. I know I have. And I remember it, and I'm thinking about older Brittany now, wishing I could go back and say, snap out of it, take a breath, get over yourself, maybe stand here and engage your core so that maybe right now is not an appropriate time to lay down and do some crunches, but you're not on your center because you stayed up too late working on that homework assignment and you're tired, fatigued, you didn't eat before this, and your core is all over the place. So rather than just going, woe is me, I had a hard assignment today, so this is just going to be a bad class. The only person who can change it is you. There are times when, sure, we might be weaker in class because we didn't eat. We didn't have enough water. Maybe you're on your period and we're shakier. It's going to happen. Happens every month, my friend. So you got to figure it out. You have to figure out how to work with it and work to grow above it. So rather than using these excuses to go, oh, well, this is just going to be a bad class today and have a reset when the next class starts, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop seeing every class as like all or nothing. Check yourself. We just need to check ourselves. And I know it because I did it too. I wish that I could have checked myself more often to not just let myself go, oh, well, this is just going to be a bad class. It doesn't have to just be a bad class. Maybe we didn't get enough sleep. Maybe we are fatigued. There is no way of holding a really nice balance today. But what can we get out of class differently? What is something that we can grow in rather than just telling ourselves negative, bad thoughts and leaving class frustrated, angry, and worse than when we came in because now we have a bad attitude and we're taking it with us to our next class. So when we're leaving class upset and we are telling ourselves, well, it's just because I need to take more class. Check yourself first. Are you getting quality classes? I'm not talking about your teachers. It's not like, oh, well, this teacher's not as good as this other teacher, so it's just going to be a bad class. Absolutely not. You can get something if you're intelligently taking class. You can get stronger. You can get something out of every single class. If you know how to train, if you know the fine tuning of technique, whether you're doing a beginner class or a more advanced class, you can get a lot out of it. And sometimes we think like, oh, we're only doing single pirouettes, but I can do like 8. Okay, well, then maybe that's not the class where we're supposed to be working on our pirouettes. Maybe this is a different class where we're working on styling and they already know you can do 12 pirouettes. That's not the goal. They know you are really lacking in this personality. And by not having any facial expressions, it is holding you back by like being on top. So sometimes when we're taking class and we're like, ugh, I don't like this part, so I'm just going to wait until we get to the part that I like, then that again is holding you back. That's an immature way to take class, and there is no way you're going to get to where you want to be if you aren't taking your classes seriously, if you can't hit that reset button when you're already in the room. And in dance, with this as our activity, we don't have time to waste. We know that youth is our friend in dance, and the older we get, the harder things become. So use your time wisely now. Older you will really thank yourself for it. My friends, that's why I created the Fame Academy, so that we can work on creating this mindset shift, not only for us, the child, but also the parent as well. I'm trying to help you stop spinning your same wheels and doing the same thing over and over again that's not working. If you're tired of doing more, but without the results, the Fame Academy is really where we go into depth about how to create real progress. I have a special bonus for you connected to this episode. So if you go to my website, brittanyNoltimier.com/74, this podcast's episode, then I have that freebie there waiting for you. Go check it out so you can start to have that mindset shift and not feel like you're at a disadvantage all the time. Thank you so much for joining me today on Dance Colleges and Careers. If you enjoyed today's episode and maybe you know somebody who could benefit from this, a friend, a fellow dancer, a fellow dance parent, feel free to share it with them. I'm just here to spread the realities of dance and what's going on in the studio and behind the scenes with you, and try to make your dance journey seamless, wonderful, and a consistent, positive part of you and your child's journey. So until next time, be brave, tell your story, and own the stage.